One day, when I was searching for Doom mods, I came across a mysterious file called Omegalore.exe. I was a huge fan of Omegalore's Rise of Nightmare Palace, but I have never played any of his other stuff. This might be interesting, I thought to myself. As I opened the zip, there appeared to be no WAD, but instead .exe simply titled Omegalore. I opened it to find it was a self-extracting installer. As I did so, a WAD appeared in the directory Omegalore.wad. Stylized, actually. I opened it and found a title pic replaced with a full-screen image of what I presumed to be Omegalore himself. He looked lanky and nerdy. I was expecting this to be a nerdy joke WAD, and I was intrigued. The credit lump was replaced with Sungmong, and I got immediately butthurt because I am a Doomworld forums member. The music itself was a silly MIDI tune, slowly setting the mood to what I thought was going to be a joke WAD. I entered the difficulty screen to only see one difficulty. Ah, bugger! As I pressed enter, a message appeared. Abandon all hope for ye who enter here. Y/N. I chuckled a bit. At this point, I was fully assured that I was about to play a knee gag. But oi, how wrong I was. The map faded into a real simplest looking room using basic Star Tan textures. D running was playing in the background. In front of me was a switch. I saw nothing of this, and once again I figured it was what. I hit the switch and the screen went black. Suddenly I heard the sounds of the boss of Nightmare Palace's cutscene. You shall become my eternal playmate, I hear Omegamore's voice call out. Just then I'm sent to a hellish-looking outdoors area. The sky is using E3 Sky, and the music is from PSX Doom. I was a tad unnerved, but I still laughed. I was expecting a silly scream or something. In the distance, I could see what looked like a shack. As I approached it, the screen slowly began to turn a tint of red, making it hard to screen. See, I entered the shack to find it to be totally desolate, not a proper sector besides the inside of the shack. However, 30 seconds after I entered, the shack's entrance was suddenly blocked up by a stone wall. My camera was thrust to the center of the room and Omegalore himself teleported in. However, he looked different. He had a menacing glare and his eyes were blood red. The voice of Clorax from heaven speaks as opposed to Omegalore's nasty tones. Greetings, mortal. Are you ready to die? The screen turns black as I hear Doom Guy's death yelling. My HP instantly turns to 0. I thought this was the end, and just a silly shout to creepypastas and mockery of Omega. But no, I was wrong. The game faded back into another map, a white void. I changed into the automatic to find level titled The Afterlife. I walked around and saw absolutely nothing. Until 5 minutes in, when the void turned blood red and the sounds of screaming were heard, I jumped out of my seat once this happened. Pistol I was equipped with vanish, leaving an empty HUD. I couldn't tell if it could still move or not, since it was purely red. A few seconds later, I teleported in what looks like E1M1. However, there are dead bodies laid around. There was an ominous red mist, and there was no items or monsters. More PSX2 music started playing. My movement speed seemed to be reduced, as if my own player was too afraid to move. When I eventually reached the exit room, the screen once again cut to black. I hear Omegalore's trademark R bugger line. It slowed down in G major, then a full-screen image of Omegalore's face appeared, accompanied by a loud scream of a little girl. Below it was the text, I am God, a la Sonic.exe. I closed GZ Doom. I was both amused and horrified, but I figured nothing was to come out of this since it was only a WAD file. I was wrong. The next morning when I start up my computer, I saw hyper-realistic Omegalore nipples on my desktop background, accompanied by his swimming medals. Then a skeleton popped out and split my root beer onto my motherboard.